Hey Boo, I'm doing things a little differently today. This is coming to you via a Zoom. So the lighting may be a little different, the sound may be a little different, and I'm just rolling with it today for a workaround. So thank you to all of you for being here. If you're a subscriber, if you're new, if you visit occasionally, I am so happy that you are joining me here. And what's been on my mind is that a lot of times people embark on a spiritual path in the hopes of it making them into a better person. And the idea of a better person, a new and improved, leveled up person, or what's often called the best version of yourself. And yes, it's a goal of a kind to say, there's things about myself I'm not happy with the way things are going. I'm not happy with the way things keep manifesting for me. And if I do this, I could become a better person. But it's not the same. In manifesting is where you become um, a master of a skill set in that sense, or a better person who's better at a a hobby, a craft, a skill of some kind that than you were before. And it's great to want those things in and of themselves um, in a time-based, body-based sense. And that's cool. That's great if that's what you're looking for. If, on the other hand, what you're feeling is that you want everything in your life to be better, that comes not from the techniques and hacks and things that you pick up that make things easier. But while those are great, we want our manifesting, uh, our practice and understanding of manifesting to be easier, to be lighter, to let go. And that's absolutely great. It's how it works from the inside rather than from a constant sense of learning from the outside as a series of steps or a protocol or an expertise. It's not that at all. It's very different. And that's because what you really are looking to be, because you already are, is that authentic person, that person who is unapologetically themselves. And if this is resonating, you'll feel that just hearing that when I say it, that you feel that just being yourself, just as you are. It doesn't mean that anything major has actually shifted, but how you are in yourself has shifted, that you are authentically yourself. And what makes that tick? It's your I am. I am that person. I am that I am. This is you as the operant power, whatever state you have chosen to assume is authentic. It's not something forced or something you are pretending to have to be. But it's whatever state your ideal is just as authentic as how you are now, whatever it is, because it all is now. So while nothing has changed, at the same time, everything has changed when it becomes authentic, authentically yourself, authentically. The desire to be authentic is from God, is from the self, is from consciousness. God that is you being the operant power. It doesn't require a good, better, best, pass, or fail. God is all. God is always perfect. That is you in your own perfectness. Fulfilled. You are always in the state of fulfillment. So if we talk about the state of, say, being happy, loving, whatever you put after it, happy, loving daughter, son, happy, loving wife or husband, happy, loving mom or dad. At the same time, that state already is fulfilled in the experience of having whatever that state is desiring. Happy, loving car owner, you insert the type of car that you want, but it's already fulfilled in that. This sense of being complete is always present. The sense of always being nourished by that state is always present. So there's really nothing that has to be added other than if you wanted to do a state akin to sleep practice like Neville Goddard taught, you construct that little scene in your imagination that indicates you have your wish, that you're riding in that car and you love how the steering feels and you love the handling of the car, or place that you want to live in. You go to sleep at night imagining that you're waking up in the morning, sipping your coffee, looking out the window at the view from where you're living in this amazing location. So how does that play back into being authentic? It means there's nothing you have to add. You already have it. That's authentic, is when there's nothing else to add to it. You're, in a sense, there's a very old expression, gilding the lily. There's nothing, there's no other piece that's going to make it more perfect, more better, more spiritual, more abundant. It already contains all of any possible abundance. This is what makes it authentic, real, in the eternal sense of real, in the divine imagination sense of real, not in a relative sense of real. That is only real in relation to the circumstance that it's in. And it's deciding you are that. It's that knowing or decreeing you are that. You are that being authentically. It's instead of doubting it. And it's seeing through the screen or the veil of believing you are anything less. Anything less even exists. So it's knowing that you have expanded and feeling that your awareness has expanded, your awareness of being, your inner love, your inner spaciousness, your inner stillness, your inner knowing, that always is there. And the more you're feeling that, because anything between you and it has left the scene, has dissolved, because the more connected you are to that authenticity in yourself, to that knowing, there are less buffers and layers and filters of social conditioning, filters of dysfunction, filters of old patterns that have been getting in the way. So you can call that inverse proportions. The more aware you are, the less need there is for anything in between. The more your awareness expands, decluttering the unreal from the real, the eternal from the temporary, the more the small self actually shrinks. And this is where the authenticity becomes really strong, that sense of truth in yourself, that this is what this is about. So it's not so much raising your consciousness. I mean, yes, consciousness gets raised, the sleeper awakes, and the scales are cast away from your eyes, because you really see who you are and where you are in relation to your desire. And that it's more than simply the idea of leveling up to a new skill set. Yes, in a sense, it's an emotional mastery, it's a consciousness mastery. But rather than a mastery that you attain, as Swami Muktananda said a long time ago, the self, God, is already attained. So it's the dismantling of whatever was in between you and knowing that about yourself, about you as what you are. So yes, again, if there is something going on in your relative world, at your job, in your athletics, in your pursuit of health, that yes, you want to aim higher to improve, but improve is like an acronym in a way for I am proof. I'm the proof. There's really nothing to improve. I am the proof that this is attainable, that this is there in me. Simply by imagining it and then having it happen. So you're really kind of working backwards. You're starting from the end. You're starting right from the end, and that becomes the beginning for you, or that really becomes the entire matrix in a good way, right? Not in a scary way, but in the real way, the ground, the foundation of yourself. And it's not a competition. It's not the spiritual Olympics. I mean, yeah, someplace in the Himalayas, they hold competitions or have held competitions to see who can levitate the highest. But it's a levitation within that we're talking about here. This is what I'm referring to. It's not necessarily the competition of who can sit in deep meditation in the lotus, eyes rolled up, arms straight out, fingers in mudra, Anjali mudra, or chin mudra, excuse me, to see who can stay there the longest. I did watch a documentary many years ago about that there were people who went, monks, and in this monastery high in the Himalayas, And they would sit for a very, very, very long time in meditation. And yet we know that in our contemporary world, that's not always possible. So the idea of being that you already are that you live the life that you have and you are happy in that life, because this is what feeds and nourishes you, is knowing you are already that authentic person, the one who already has their desire. So it's that knowing, is there ego in having and being an authentic person? There's knowing you are that. And that's what Swami Muktananda called proper ego. I am God, as opposed to the ego of feeling less than or arrogant or wanting to manifest out of vanity, as I talked about in my vanity manifesting video, my previous video. But it's knowing I am divine, I am the self, I am consciousness, I am the happy, loving one, whatever the name of that particular state refers to, the happy, loving partner, the happy, loving CEO. And yes, you can still have that rough day. You can have a bad mood. You can get triggered, catch yourself getting triggered, pull up your socks and take a break and replenish. Stop doubting. You may catch yourself in a hoping mood or a yeah, but, or a what if. But if you have once imagined your desire, it's coming to you. You just notice that you fell out and were of the authenticity that you are, that love that you are. There is no lack in God. We only believe we are lacking something. And it feels like when we're lacking is actually a form of having something you don't want, of having what you don't want. What you don't want is lack. But the only thing God lacks is lack itself. So if you want anything, it's to be lacking of lack in order to be authentic. It's to start noticing how your patterns of thinking, behaving are wired into what manifests, what shows up, what trips you up. The tripwires and that come up. Not to trick you, they're there to just show you, wake you up. Behaving, if you split up behave, BEHAVE, being and having is how you are behaving, which is why A Course in Miracles says being and having are the same. And it shows up in how your state behaves, the state of having, the one who has the dream home, the one who takes that fabulous exotic vacation or the mountain hiking vacation, wherever that is. And you have what you are. So what so many of us want is to have abundance and be that abundance, be not just wealthy, but be wealth itself, or the abundance of loving and being loved, loving and love and affection in all forms. Healthy, being health. Healthy is heal thy. If you break it up, it has that biblical aspect, heal thy. Heal thy whatever it is to be healthy, clear of whatever was causing that dis-ease, that imbalance. I'm balance. You are balance itself. And that is the same with inhabiting the state of wealth, or the person who constantly manifests wealth in all forms, or generates riches, generates wealth, who knows that it's always being provided. Wealth is always being provided. As Dr. Joseph Murphy said, at every moment of time and point of space, because it comes from beyond time and beyond space. And in wealthy, you have it as it breaks out. And I had some fun exploring this and doing some digging into the deeper meaning here. You have the old spelling W-E-A-L, not to be confused with wheel, which has to do with welts. No, it's not welts. It's more marks on the skin. No. It's wealthy, in meaning, of course, good or riches. And the Merriam-Webster dictionary online says, since the dawn of English, W-E-A-L, referred to well-being, and most often used in the phrase commonweal, you'd pronounce it, but commonweal, the general good. That is, to the happiness, health, and safety of everyone in a community or a nation, the commonwealth. So how does this come back into being abundant? It's uplifting others, blessing others with your presence, with love, with uplifting them in your imagination. Creates a commonwealth. Just going forward as your authentic self. Lifting the cross of others, lifting your cross as well. Giving up your cross, surrendering, going higher, giving that to God, to Jesus, the Christ consciousness. And it also, there are synonyms where it meant riches and well-being. And it really does come from an earlier word, wela, W-E-L-A, or wela, which has to do with well-being. And I know there is a beauty product company. I'm no affiliate, no way, but it's just that I use that name, and I'm sure that's where that came from. To being well, to well-being. And it's beyond a sense of simple positivity. Remember, authenticity, being authentically yourself, even goes beyond mindset, because it's a knowing of who you are. And yeah, there are times when we feel like, yeah, it would slap on a dose of positivity to start my day. And that's fine if you see it and understand where it fits in. And that underneath that is that authentic self that cannot hide under putting on forced positivity. You are already there. And this is the goal of goals, the goal of all goals, knowing the self that you already are. God, the operant power, an aspect of source, like the facet of a diamond, a radiant facet of the diamond that is the cosmos inside of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time here with me. My gratitude to you, to all my subscribers. And thank you so much for joining me here. And I will see you in the next one. Love you, boo. See you soon.